Welcome to Basically Sci-Fi, the short story podcast with stories you can basically call sci-fi. My name's Todd.
I'm Adam.
And I'm Jared.
I'm excited to let you guys know that I am actually coming back to America.
Oh,
Yeah.
congratulations.
Thank you. We filled out all the right paperwork and got everything so we can import my wife.
And your dog.
You know how Uncle Sam hates them, what are they called?
Border collies. Yeah. The dog is actually the hard part.
Yeah.
How are you going to do that? You can't
quarantine for some amount of time.
You can't put it in your suitcase.
It's actually not that bad compared to bringing dogs into Japan. Japan's actually worse.
Oh, yeah. Huh.
America's just like, look, we got rid of rabies already, so don't bring that in.
Yeah. No, as far as I know, the dog has to quarantine for a week or so or something like that before it can go home with you. But
I don't think so. I haven't figured out everything out though, so we're working on it.
Well,
but
maybe that's dated information, but that used to be the case.
Might be. The way it's looking now, maybe when this episode comes out, I might actually be back.
Well, that's exciting for you.
Yeah.
That is exciting for me.
You'll get to visit your family and all your nieces and nephews.
I can't wait to meet them for the first time.
Most of them, yeah. Or half of them, at least.
3, I think more than half. But no, I met...
No, it's half, because you met Kyle and Haley's second kid at Liz's wedding.
That's okay. Yeah.
It was just an infant at that point, but...
Yeah. They were both still young enough that I refer to them as it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what else is exciting? Stories of basic sci-fi.
And Taco Bell. Because you'll get to go and fucking eat that shit again, too.
They won the franchise wars.
That is slightly exciting.
Yeah, Taco Bell and what's another
From
one?
Demolition Man. Have you ever seen that?
Radio Shack, that's the one.
80s, late 80s, early 90s, maybe.
Okay. There's some deep Taco Bell lore that I'm unaware of.
So what's the stankiest fast food you're excited to eat again?
The stankiest fast food?
Yeah.
Well,
and by stanky, I mean in a good way.
I assumed that. I guess... Ooh, you know what? Panera.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is that fast food?
I don't know
it's
that
fast
I've
food.
ever eaten at one of those.
That's like bougie as shit.
I used to go there sometimes when I worked at JCPenney.
Yeah.
Oh,
And it was
JCPenney.
It was expensive to go there on a JCPenney income.
It's like
and
half
I
your
think
salary.
one time I went there and I saw my manager there, and she was getting her lunch too, and she looked at me like, "Do they allow you in here?" Like I know how much you make. What are you getting Panera for lunch for?
Hey, it's, I guess, allegedly healthy.
I don't know that, but
Yeah,
see, everyone
it's
always
not.
says that to me. They're always like, you are always so healthy, eating healthy food. And I'm like, no, I just really don't like really fried stuff and really sweet stuff.
Yeah.
It just gives me shits anyway.
But that's half the fun of eating fast food.
No.
It makes your night a lot quicker.
Got that real smooth bowel movement.
Lets you really clear out your schedule and anus.
Oh, man.
Prepare your Paneras, because I've got a story for you.
All right.
Is that a segue? This
Yeah.
story
Yeah.
is called Furry on Ice. Is that how that's pronounced? Or is it Fury on Ice?
It's definitely furry. Fury would have one R.
I mean, the way you have it written here is furry, but
Upon more than one occasion since my travels with the Zumbargato began, I have had need to question the reliability of my own mental faculties. I find even my own memory unreliable. for the bizarre happenings that shaped my current predicament seem quite unbelievable. Were I not personally involved, and had I been told of these events by an acquaintance, I would have dismissed it all out of hand as the ramblings of a mad pervert. It's been some time since I rejected my humanity, but in my previous life, I served as the executioner's executive assistant / wife in the dungeon of Lord Beangut's castle. However, that life ended when through a vision was revealed to me the knowledge of the worlds beyond our own star, and the words that usher their coming. Furry
Oh, boy.
The Zumbargato, as they call themselves, told me many things. They told me how they fled their own planet in search of peace after being attacked by an ancient risen evil known only as Cuck. Now they placed a great deal of trust in me. Though it may truly be rooted in no more than desperation, and asked me to assist in their peace talks as an ambassador and translator. There are many evils beyond our knowing, and the Zumbargato would ask for cooperation should those malevolent tendrils penetrate our unprepared and most vulnerable of places, our very home. Yes, our home, for the Zumbargato wish to live beside humans and elves. I'm still unsure, but I believe it is through our fraternization that I will finally learn the truth of Furry. To this end, I guided Lucius Ricardo de la Nip, with whom I had become inseparably close, and a contingent of his fellows to Beangut's castle. Upon arriving, however, we learned that Lord Beangut had departed with the Elf Queen Titania. Whether this was of his own choosing was unclear, and given the animosity between the two it seemed unlikely, but until his disappearance, talks of an alliance had apparently been going favorably, though however pleasant such talks, or moans, may have been, it was certain that the Lord had not stated any intention to leave, and thus would be pursued back to the elf lands by the full might of Beangut's military. Should the army of men be met unannounced at the elf border, war would be inevitable. The loss of life such a war would bring would undoubtedly leave our world even more vulnerable to the dangers creeping slowly but steadily to our world, like a pedophilic snake with its eyes on our unguarded eggs. And yeah, that's basically the gist of it. Tell them to remove their cloaks and drop their weapons, the elf captain shouted at me from atop his steed, his armor glistening in the sun. He pointed his long, stiff lance at me. Attempting to prevent the war, the Zumbargato and I had raced ahead of Beangut's army. Our relatively small numbers made it easier for us to travel, but I knew we had only a few more days to accomplish our task. Upon reaching the Alf lands, we were met immediately by a patrol of Alf-armored cavalry. Their strong steeds wove between the weeping willows silently, trampling neither the flowers nor brush beneath their hooves. I couldn't discern their true numbers, for every time I blinked, and under stress I do tend to blink rather much, but every time I blinked I lost count. Were there 3, or perhaps 10? All I knew is that we were surrounded. The guy on the horse says you have to take off your cloaks and drop your weapons, I relayed to my companions. We can understand him just fine, little one. We have universal translators, though he will not comprehend our speech as you can, Lucius replied. So you guys can understand him, but still need me to translate what you say to him? I asked Lucius. Yes. They say they can understand you, but you won't be able to understand them, so I'll translate, I said to the captain. I asked them to do as you said. Are you being funny? The captain and his men circled us on their steeds. You spoke to them the same as I. I meant to believe you understand their mewling. I guess that's just how it works since I became one of them, I said, pointing to my new ears. And I'm telling you that's not how it works. The cats will be dinner, and the woman will be imprisoned. Alfs, slay them! Lucius, watch out, they're attacking! I told you I can understand them! What happened next I could scarce comprehend, let alone describe. In a flurry of light and blood, 2 of the Alf knights were dispatched, the riders dropping limply as the horses abandoned them. The elf knights who were still alive attempted to regain control of their steeds, but as they themselves were seized by terror, they were unable to tighten their grips on either their reins or their sanity. Meow, 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 meow. What did he say? The elf captain asked. Enough! I told them that Lucius shouted. Chu have pushed my hand, but if at all possible we would have peace, our peoples can work together, for it is only united that we can defend this world. The captain just took off his helmet and mouthed. What the fuck? Suddenly, a voice boomed from deep within the woods that shook the trees. The woman speaks truth. Bring her to me. All the elf knights turned to face the direction where the voice had come from. What was that? I asked. What you've heard is the voice of the prophet. If they will that you be brought further into elf lands, then I can't disobey. I'm sorry that we killed 2 of your guys. I did my best to apologize to the resplendent knight captain, but as I myself was unsure how the elves had been slain, I could think of nothing else to say. Save your breath, woman. Just because you've been called to an audience with the prophet doesn't make you a proper guest to our realm. Meow, meow, meow. Lucius says eat a barbed cat dick. You weren't meant to translate that. Lucius meowed. We Zumbargato were then marched towards the elf capital of Gordonia. If I were to write a history of my adventure, I would like to begin my description of Gordonia with the abodes of the common folk, though upon my seeing I can confirm that the elves do not have a hierarchy like you or I would understand, and indeed none seem common. Even the most humble of structures confounded me with its non-Euclidean architecture. Spiraling towers that even the most liberal human architects wouldn't dream to put to parchment. The green hue of the material from which the structures were hewn was at once reminiscent of the haunting forest the elves called home, yet I believe the material was more akin to stone than wood. The further into the city we went, the more I found myself comparing it to the human lands I previously called home. The streets were far less crowded, and what I took to be merchants were not barking as they would in a human market. Rather, they remained still and as emotionless as the knights. No one came to buy the goods on display, but given the lifespan of elves, I suppose it's possible that they are possessed of inhuman patience. When we finally reached the grand entrance of the castle of Queen Titania, I took a moment to ponder the curious designs adorning the castle walls. Dotting the structure were perhaps hundreds of small glass orbs, devoid of any practical application. In my life I had never seen so much glass, and certainly not of such fine quality, except in the possession of the Zumbargato. If the foreign races are capable of technical marvels not known to us, I can't fathom why Lord Beangut would be so opposed to cooperation. The average elf lacks strength of arm, but makes up for the deficiency of their lanky frames with superior weapons and armor. I was then lost in thought, imagining how the delicate and slender fingers of an elf blacksmith could produce such works. But perhaps their almost feminine digits were capable of things that men were not, their smooth hands being dexterous enough to manipulate their tools in ways I couldn't imagine, to reach places that conventional means could not. I thought long on this, completely distracted. And as I was merely following the group without much care to my surroundings, I was surprised to find that we had descended a deep stairway. Underground, our path was illuminated only minimally by occasional torch until we reached our final destination at the Temple of the Prophet. The temple was as dimly lit as the rest of the underground. Judging by the curvature of the walls when first we entered the temple, I determined that the room was circular, like an arena. But I couldn't be sure because our torchlight didn't reach the whole expanse. Elf Knights, leave the foreigners with me. The voice of the prophet echoed through the temple with such volume as to leave my knees weak. I can't stay here, was my first thought. My mortal body can't withstand conversation with this greater being. Come, men, the knight captain commanded, though one of the younger knights muttered, Can you believe this guy? It's always, leave the foreigners with me. Sheesh. Take me with you, I thought, though the words didn't escape my lips. When the knights were gone, we were left in absolute darkness. All I could hear was the steady breath of Lucius standing next to me, the pounding of my heartbeat in my ears, and one of the other Zumbargato in the group saying, "Did you touch my ass?" And then a meow. Suddenly, the entire temple was bright as day. I covered my eyes with my hands, every few moments attempting to peek between my fingers and allow my eyes to adjust. When finally I could open my eyes fully, I beheld the prophet, who was not an elf, but surprisingly a human like me. "Y'all want to tell me why you're here killing my guys? Not supposed to be any other fantasy races show up till after the Alpha War and the system reset." The prophet spoke on familiar terms with his attention fixed on Lucius, whose face expressed not familiarity, but understanding and horror. "No, it cannot be. You were already here." "What are you on about?" "You mean the Department of Tourism was already here too? Then we are too late." "Hey, wait a heckin' second," the prophet said. "I don't remember there being any cat people in the script. Or people with cat ears. What's with the chick?" "Don't you dare use such careless and misogynistic language in front of this beautiful woman. The Zumbargato will liberate this planet." "Whoa, I'm not the one you should be taking that up with. Not like I could single-handedly declassify this whole planet as a tourist destination."
"Then who should I talk to?"
"Somebody higher up than me," the prophet shrugged. "I just say what they tell me to say."
"Who is they?"
"The Department of Tourism."
"Who in the Department of Tourism? And if you say someone higher up than me again, I am going to fucking kill you."
"Someone higher up than me, do something about it." With another burst of light, Lucius killed the prophet as he had killed the nights before.
"I should not have done that. Everyone, we need to leave."
But before Lucius could finish, the light in the room changed from soft white to blood red. Horns blew loudly that could have drowned out the prophet's booming voice. I could feel my consciousness slip. I gripped my head in my hands. "Attention all guests and personnel. This is a Class 4 emergency. All exits have been locked and sleeping gas has been released. All guests should please use the disconnect command to exit your clone body. If your clone body is unrecoverable, you will be reimbursed in full. The Department of Tourism apologizes for any inconvenience. Attention all guests and personnel. This is a Class 4 emergency. All exits have been locked." I awoke in my chamber in Beangut's castle. I know that I've gone mad, but being aware of my madness does nothing to cure me. It would be like telling a drowning man to simply recognize the water, as if that would restore the air to his lungs. No one will listen to me. The men are preparing for war and Beangut is nowhere to be found. I know that I can't trust my memories. But you trust me, right? It's all real. The Zumbargato, the Department of Tourism, the non-Euclidean architecture, and most of all,
Furry Yowie.
the end.
I love it.
Nice.
It's like one of those. Oh God, that one guy who writes all them stories.
It's like that one guy. Just like my
Yeah,
other one
fucking
featuring
hell.
this
Just
character
like
was.
that.
What is his name?
Henry
Oh.
Pontificus Lovecraft.
That's it. Big old Henry Lovecraft. I'm loving it,
Yeah.
especially the non-Euclidean bits.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
so stupid. But just like H.P. Lovecraft, I did not look up what non-Euclidean means. So
That just means like not square, right?
I don't know. I didn't look it up.
I'm like 85% sure it means things with rounded edges.
I don't know. I think it's got something to do with I don't know, 3D spaces. I don't know.
It's
Do you
mostly
get it?
spherical.
Get what happened?
What happened to Beangut? Or is that a mystery?
That is, I mean, I guess I know what happened. I don't know how many more stories in this area I'm gonna write, so I don't know if I'm ever gonna get around to saying what happened to him. But I guess I know what happened to him.
Okay, well that's the important part. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say I think Beangut was a tourist.
Oh.
Oh.
But who knows?
Yeah, the tourism thing is something I forgot for a while, but goes back all the way to episode 1.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's how
I guess I had forgotten about it too.
That's how Nova and Flair met Aerie. They were tourists on his planet when they met him. Yeah.
No, I'd forgotten about that, but
It's been 5 years.
Something like that.
Yeah.
No, it's a good little standalone, a different perspective than you usually take on your stories. So nice little change of pace as far as that goes.
Yeah, it's fun. Besides the Lovecraft style, I also just kind of like writing first person. It's not something I do a lot, so it's fun.
It's cool.
Definitely helps me write more like a book, since the character can just kind of monologue about their surroundings and thoughts and stuff.
Yeah.
So
that did really read like a book.
Yeah, doesn't sound as much like an audio drama or whatever.
Oh no! See, the thing about audio dramas is you can make a book into an audio drama. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can, but I'm saying they are different stylistically.
Yeah.
I suppose. Yeah. But no, this episode is an audiobook. And that is also just fine. And the Alfs are, in fact, not the cat-eating Alfs of television fame. It's been a long time since we've spoken about the Alfs.
I mean, they do still eat cats, though.
They do, in fact, eat cats, yeah.
Yeah.
They do.
That's an old plot point.
Yeah.
I picked up on that right away.
Yeah. Yeah, explains some of their animosity towards the Zumbar Gato.
Yeah, or at least their slavering hunger towards them. They'll take the woman and eat the cats.
Yeah. Lucius should have been careful about telling them to eat a cat dick. They might just do that.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, is that an aphrodisiac in elf society?
I don't know.
Dick, barbed cat dick.
It's ground up into one. It's not just eaten.
Yeah.
You drink the ground.
Maybe it's used as piercings.
That was a good old story this week. Real funny.
Thanks. I hope so.
Yeah.
We'll see if I continue it another time, but I think I've got other things and other places that I want to talk about.
Things that you can't reach by conventional means.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for checking out Basically Sci-Fi. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Join us on our Discord to see what video games we're playing. And yeah, I guess I'll see you next time.
Bye now.
Bye.